Just in, Rory McIlroy drops huge bombshell in press conference. What happens when one of golf's biggest icons finally says what everyone else has been afraid to admit? Rory McIlroy shocked the golf world with a statement during a news conference that left both fans and pundits in disbelief. After a turbulent Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black, McIlroy addressed the media. He didn't merely talk about his play or the chemistry of his team. He also dropped a bombshell that has sparked a great deal of discussion, controversy, and conjecture. What was it that he said? And what effect will this discovery have on professional golf going forward? Few could have foreseen the emotional maelstrom that broke out during the 2025 Ryder Cup. But it was always going to be intense. Bethpage Black had an electrifying atmosphere that was tense, passionate, and patriotic. Even the calmest players were put to the test by the cauldron of noise produced by the boisterous and unrepentant spirit of the New York fans. The emotional leader and top player in Europe, Rory McIlroy, was at the center of it all. The roar of jeers, screams, and taunting peaked during a crucial time on the 16th hole, as McIlroy was about to make a crucial shot. Several fans insulted him, focusing on his personal life and family in addition to his performance. McIlroy, who was usually the epitome of poise, eventually lost it. He turned to the gallery, backing away from his ball, and yelled, "Stop talking!" Both officials and onlookers were taken aback by the uproar. It was an unvarnished, unadulterated moment, the kind that is uncommon in golf, a game that is based on decency and manners. Some supporters applauded him for defying an antagonistic crowd and cheered his fiery defiance. Others denounced the incident as a violation of decorum. Clips of the incident quickly went viral on social media, sparking a never-ending discussion about player pressure, sportsmanship, and crowd behavior. Luke Donald, the captain of Europe, took immediate action. He admitted that some of the crowd's actions had gone too far, even if passion is a necessary component of the Ryder Cup's enchantment. Personal insults are unacceptable, he said. Following suit, the PGA of America released an official statement denouncing improper behavior and pledging increased security and enforcement going forward. McIlroy and his European counterparts maintained their concentration in spite of the distractions. Europe pulled ahead to a commanding 11.5 to 4. 5 lead going into the final day, not shaken, but fueled. The tournament's talking point was McIlroy's emotional fortitude and the solidarity of Europe. However, the tale did not stop there. McIlroy wasn't merely thinking about winning or atonement when he addressed the media following the game. Rather, he made a shocking revelation that changed the way people talked about the future of golf. McIlroy disclosed at the press conference following the Ryder Cup that he had received an offer from a rival golf league, which he called massive in terms of both money and prestige. It was an unparalleled admission. Although there had been rumors of rival tours for years, few elite players had ever publicly acknowledged being courted. Reporters were taken aback by McIlroy's candor. He acknowledged that the offer included a shortened playing schedule, more sponsorship opportunities, and a huge financial package. He clarified, though, that he had not agreed to the terms of the arrangement or made any promises, but that he wished to be open about the reality that contemporary players must deal with. His comments struck like a clap of thunder. A swarm of inquiries broke the silence in the room. Which league had offered? Was McIlroy thinking about quitting the DP World Tour or the PGA Tour? Would this impact his eligibility for the Ryder Cup? McIlroy didn't panic. "I'm not making any announcements," he stated, "but professional golf is evolving. Every player is anticipating what will happen next. The precarious status of professional golf must be taken into account in order to comprehend why McIlroy's admission was so significant." The PGA Tour and European Tour, now known as the DP World Tour, constituted the sport's apex for many years. These trips stood for custom, rivalry, and distinction. Players like McIlroy dreamed of winning the FedEx Cup, Ryder Cup, and Claret Jug as children. However, competing leagues have surfaced in recent years, supported by substantial financial resources and audacious plans. Players have been promised new international formats, shorter schedules, and previously unheard-of pay. These incentives are alluring to many, particularly veterans who are juggling fatigue and family obligations. McIlroy's admission supported the widespread belief that even the most devoted athletes are now considering these offers. It sparked debate about legacy, loyalty, and the essence of the game itself. The Ryder Cup itself might be in jeopardy if players started to change sides. Top players from both tours are essential to the competition. Defections can compel officials to reevaluate eligibility requirements. In summary, professional golf's balance was and remains threatened. Luke Donald, the captain, acted swiftly to comfort teammates and supporters. In a heartfelt statement, he commended McIlroy's dedication to Team Europe and emphasized that the Ryder Cup is still defined by pride and loyalty. Donald remarked, "Rory has always sacrificed everything for this team. We stand together when we don that blue and gold, regardless of the choices players make regarding their careers." Nonetheless, Donald admitted that the workplace is evolving quickly. Tours must change or risk losing their stars as players strike a balance between legacy and financial prospects. His comments demonstrated how leadership is becoming more conscious that the sport's established framework might not be viable. Reactions were divided on the U.S. side. The fact that McIlroy had been so open about being approached by a rival league surprised some American players. Others expressed empathy, acknowledging that even for elite athletes with well-established careers, the allure of financial independence is difficult to resist. Although the Ryder Cup is still a revered occasion, U.S. Captain Keegan Bradley agreed that the professional system needs to change to meet player demands. "We cannot act as though the sport isn't evolving," he stated. Now, players are just as much business people as athletes. There were a ton of theories on social media when the story went viral. Given that McIlroy had previously attacked breakaway leagues, some fans accused him of being hypocritical. Others praised his candor, contending that the only way to bridge golf's widening gap is via openness. Analysts started analyzing the ramifications. Would others be encouraged to speak up by McIlroy's admission? Could the PGA Tour offer further perks to entice players to stay? Or was this the start of yet another period of realignment in golf? McIlroy's press conference went viral in a matter of hours. It was now about power, loyalty, and sports economics, rather than just golf. The choice that McIlroy must make is crucial. His financial future may be unimaginably safe if he aligns with a rival league, but doing so could also endanger his legacy and his association with tournaments like the Ryder Cup and the Open Championship. He clarified that personal attacks, particularly those directed at family members, went beyond what no professional should have to go through. McIlroy stated, "We play with passion, but there must be respect." The events outside went too far. His remarks spurred more extensive discussions regarding fan behavior and whether golf's regulatory authorities should establish more precise crowd behavior guidelines. Striking that balance has become a pressing issue in a time when audience participation is crucial. When Heather McMahon, the event's MC and hype leader, resigned due to allegations that she had supported some of the crowd's most offensive chants, the situation became even more. In addition to being an act of accountability, her resignation came to represent broader cultural problems within the sport. It brought to light a widening gap between those who think golf's traditions of decorum are unassailable and those who want the sport to embrace its noisier, more contemporary fan base. One thing became clear in the days after the press conference. Rory McIlroy's remarks have altered the discourse surrounding professional golf. His disclosure had revealed the sport's internal struggles over identity, allegiance, and money. The same question was now being faced by every player, sponsor, and tour. What should golf's future hold? Once a representation of unadulterated rivalry and national pride, the Ryder Cup now serves as a mirror reflecting the modern reality of the sport, where individual decisions and financial empires influence it just as much as fairways and greens. Looking ahead, what will McIlroy do next? McIlroy has maintained his public commitment to Europe and the Ryder Cup, despite the ongoing rumors. However, Even his most ardent supporters acknowledge that his legacy will be determined by his future choices, including whether to stick to the conventional tours or pursue other endeavors. He solidifies his position as the defender of golf's customs if he stays. He becomes a pioneer of its new frontier if he departs. In any case, McIlroy has compelled golf to admit its mistakes. Whether his press conference turns into a warning or a historic event that helped bring the sport into a new era will be decided in the upcoming months. If you love the passion, the drama, and the raw emotion that make golf more than just a game, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of the breaking moments that are reshaping the sport.